Friends, this is Bhupati Raj. The wonderful MCQs on today's current affair notes. In fact, I've taken government information and based on that, I've created these wonderful MCQs. The first question, which is very useful, these all questions are useful for our UPSC and CLAT. Of course, any competitive examination, no doubt. And we have taken the base, right? Majority points, even application to the concerned subject also I did here. Consider the following regarding constitutional amendment bill in India. Option, this first we have three statements are mentioned here. In this case, they require a simple majority in both houses. No, when the word is constitutional amendment, we need special majority. So this is not the correct one. So next point is what? Some amendments require ratification by half of the states. Second point is the president can withhold assent to such bills. But these two things are wrong. Especially in the case of constitutional amendment bill, president will not, of course, it's impossible. He doesn't have the right to withhold right? So without any hesitation, he has to assent the bill. That's a major point. So 1 and 3 wrong. Only 2 is correct answer. Better. So option is B for this one, right? Because some needs, of course, states ratification is also must for the constitutional amendment bill. In fact, the GST, if you take it, 50% of states should ratify that. That's a major point of constitutional amendment bill. Second question, the failure of women's reservation bill in parliament highlights which constitutional provision? Beta, yes, constitutional provisions are there. Simple majority, special majority and special majority by ratification under Article 368. So in that case, the same thing is here. It is in the case of Article 368 beta. Third question, consider the following statements about budget session of Parliament. Yes, yesterday it was, of course, concluded. It started already, I told in my news analysis. It started on Jan 28th and concluded on April 18th. This is a very big session and majority 100%, right? Fantastic work done by Rajya Sabha. 93% is, of course, the sessions because the speaker and the chairman announced about it. It's a big development. See, point in the case is it begins with president's address. Every time the budget session pakka starts with the president's address, no doubt in that. The finance bill must be passed during this session and it is the shortest session of parliament. Which of the following are correct in this case? Beta, we have option A, 1 and 2, option B, 2 only, option C, 1 and 3, D, 1, 2, 3. Baba, in this case, of course, both the points are what? It's a not shortest session. It's a longest session, right? Because even second spell also there, of course. Special days we have taken the 3 days. In this case, what do you call? Special sitting, you can say. In fact, 16th, 17th, 18th for women's reservation bill. So it's the longest. So third is wrong. But this is pakka for what do you call here? It begins with the president's address and the finance bill must be passed during the session better. Yes, 2 are correct in this case. So 1 and 2 correct means which is the option? Yes. First is correct and second also correct. So A is right answer for this question beta. A. Then come to the point of question number 4. Which of the following best describes Lakshman Rekha introduced in West Bengal elections? Beta, election commission. Of course, every time some type of renovation or you can say wonderful things, in fact, modification of the election procedure, that is what you can say, revolutionary changes. So that is what we have this time is Lakshman Rekha. For 100 meters of polling booth, anything you take it, 100 meters comes under security zone, right? That's a very important point called as Lakshman Rekha. A cyber security firewall system, a delimitation boundary, a 100-meter security perimeter around polling booth. This is what you can say purely the new reform taken by the election commission. So this type of things called as what? Election reforms. So option is C beta. Then go to question number 5th here. Consider the following about the Strait of Hormuz. It's a very unfortunate. Every day we are facing the problem with this fellow. Sometimes they are opening, sometimes they are closing, very bad. It connects the Persian Gulf to Arabian Sea. It's a major global oil transit choke point. It lies entirely within Iran's territorial waters. But a very important point in this case, problem number 5 is we have 3 statements mentioned like UPSC prelims. Option 1A is 1 and 2, B 2 only, C 1 and 3, D 1, 2, 3. But in this case, the wrong one is it lies entirely within Iran's territorial waters is wrong. Of course, if you observe my previous video, Oman also in the part in this particular case. So option A, 1 and 2, yes, this is what you can say. Strait of Hormuz connects Gulf with Arabian Sea. That's correct answer. 1 is right, of course, and it's a major global transit choke point. 1 and 2 correct option, that's by option A. The term El Nino is associated with option A, increase in monsoon rainfall. Nonsense. Increase is purely opposite of that one. Cooling of Pacific Ocean. C, disruption of monsoon due to warming of Pacific waters. D, cyclone formation in Arabian Sea. Better option in this case is what? C. So El Nino now point of which ocean in this case is Pacific, that you have to remember. So option is C, correct answer better in this case. Now warming of this completely Pacific waters, right? That's very unfortunate because of that weak monsoon in India. Then question number 7. Which of the following bodies reviews issues related to women's safety in India? Women's safety, we have a special commission is there. So option A, Niti Aayog is wrong. Now B is National Commission for Women is correct answer better. That you can say it's a statutory body. Remember, it's not of constitutional body, it's a statutory body. Then consider the following statements about dearness allowances. Government of course, the government announced special right allowances, you can say increase the DA. That's what actually we have here better. The point in this case, DA increased by how much percentage? 2%. So it is linked to inflation exactly. It's revised periodically by the government. Perfect. It's applicable only to pensioners is wrong, please. It's applicable to employees and pensioners. So this third is wrong answer. 1 and 2 correct answer. Where you can find which of the following is correct means what? Option B right answer in the case of question number 8 beta. Then go to question number 9. It's a very big development which I have discussed in my news analysis, because maritime insurance pool is a very big development in the point of this is what you can say ships transit, in fact, wherever it is facing some difficulty, because now the war zone is almost all what, of course, even very strict and crucial condition for ships. So if even unfortunately yesterday Iranian, that is YRGC, attacked Indian ships, 2 ships were of course affected by that, and majority ship companies are facing problems. So government of India is boosting with this. That's what you call insurance pool. Aims to what? Promote inland waterways, not inland waterways, please. This is a very important point in this case, but provide insurance coverage for maritime risk. That's a major point. Please observe my news analysis. You can get more information in that. The 10th question is what is here? Consider the following statements about PMGSY. PMGSY is nothing but Prime Minister's Gramin Sadak Yojana, especially for rural roads beta. Now option statement 1 is it aims to improve rural road connectivity. Correct option. Second is beta here. It is implemented by Ministry of Agriculture. No. Third one is it has been extended beyond 2025. It's extended to till 2028. So 1 and 3 correct answer. So option for 10th question 1, 3 where we have it is option B beta. Then 11th one of course we can have it is actually, do you know who it's Ministry of Agriculture is wrong beta. Ministry of Rural Development. This if you want a clarification in this case is Ministry of Rural Development is a right answer for this one. Which ministry means. So 11th question, which of the following best explains delimitation? Option A, allocation of budget resources. B, redrawing of electoral. Because I am talking about delimitation, we are not talking about budget, please. Budget is allocation of funds in some different cases. But in this case, delimitation is purely of what? Yeah, electoral constituency boundaries. So there is no doubt option B is right answer better. Because reservation of seats and conduct of election, this is not a concept of this one. Conduct of elections is purely comes under the election commission purview. So therefore what you say? Option is B better. 12th question. Now, which of the following leaders is associated with the Nepal politics? Option A, Gagan Thapa. And you observe, of course, previously that in my other video, this is of today's video, Gagan Thapa is linked to Nepal Congress leadership and Supreme Court approved it. I have mentioned in my news analysis. So option is Gagan Thapa. Then go to 13th question here. Consider the following regarding Election Commission of India. It's a very fantastic thing. Of course, it's a constitutional body. Right? Election Commission is appointed by the President of India. That's a major point. So what are the basic point in this case, Election Commission point of view? Option A, this first statement is, it conducts elections to Parliament and state legislatures. Perfect one, of course, no doubt in that one. President elections, at the same time, beta, Vice President elections and state legislatures followed by, of course, Parliament also, remember. And prepares electoral rolls. That's correct. Of course, it's the SIR is going on, you might be knowing, in many states. Third statement is it's a constitutional body. Already mentioned that. So these 3 are correct in the case of Election Commission Baba. So where you have this option in this case is 13th. Yes, 1, 2, 3 right answer is D. Option D is right answer better. Then go to 14th question here. Which of the following best describes sine die in parliamentary context. Yeah, example, adjournment of the concerned house for 1 day, 2 days is another 1 hour, 2 hours, 1 day, next day. That's in the purview of, no doubt, speaker can do that, but simply summoning and proroguing in the hands of president of India. In that case, what is sine die actually? So this is what indefinitely concluding the session implies next date whenever the president announces, on that day we have to meet. That's the point of sine die. Adjournment for a fixed period. Option A. Second one is adjournment without assigning a date for next meeting. This is the answer. I told no, sine die is that actually. Which of the following is not feature of money bill? So better money bills, of course, practically speaker has to approve that. It's a money bill one. Who has the right to, of course, describe this as a money bill or not? That's the speaker's role. And if you attend my constitutional law, you can say that, of course, Indian polity classes, you can get full clarity upon this one. We have very fantastic classes, online and offline for all programs. Our UPSC prelims, and you can say mains, that is called as PCM program, and CLAT also there, that you know. Option one, first in this case of first one is certified by speaker and can originate, one second, question number, it is 15th beta, can originate in Rajya Sabha, and which of the following is not a feature of money bill? Very important word is what? It's not a feature of money bill. So definitely second one is can originate in Rajya Sabha is utterly wrong. So this is the right answer beta. And certification of speaker is mandatory college, but it's a money bill that he has to certify that. Limited powers of Rajya Sabha in this case on the 14 days period will be given to that one. Whether he has to, of course, if he doesn't do that, if Rajya Sabha fails to, right, send it back within 14 days of that, it is deemed to be passed by Rajya Sabha. That's a point, in the case of money bills actually. President assent mandatory. So that's point in this case is better. In this case, we have to take that very interesting point, of course, certified. In the case of money bill only, I'm not talking. This is in the case of parliament. So I didn't consider, say, a fourth one here. It's a different case. So before coming to the parliament only, president will assent it. So therefore, what in this case, in the context, I'm taking option B better. So if for deep discussion, please contact me and attend my classes. Consider the following statements about Lok Sabha speaker. Decides whether a bill is money bill or not. Can vote only in case of tie. Is appointed by president. Remember better, which of the following statements is about speaker is correct actually. Not means we have different answer, but he will not be appointed by the president of India. Number 3 is pakka wrong. That's number 1 is over. So he decides definitely whether a bill is money bill or not. Yes, it is correct. He can vote, of course, he'll cast, that is casting a vote of the speaker. We can say that word is, that is when the tie is there. Implies when equal number of votes by opposition and the treasury benches. So then speaker enters automatically, that is that result. So can vote only in case of tie. So 1 and 2 correct answer, better option is A, right answer. Then which of the following correctly defines 0 hour? You might be knowing this also. Of course, we have after immediately starting of the session, we can say, right, question hour, and later immediately that's followed by 0 hour. So option is in this case A, time reserved for question hour. No, it's question hour is for questions only, not for 0. So time immediately after the question hour for urgent matters. Exactly right answer is B bit. I mentioned already that. Now 18th one, the requirement of special majority implies. So I told you that the bill will be of three applications: simple majority, special majority, and special majority by and along with ratification by 50% of states. In this case, what actually special majority means? What 50% of total membership is wrong. That's confirmed. 2/3 majority members present and voting accepted. Just a moment, it's not completed, please. Now 2/3 of total membership, yes, better. This is totally both B and majority of total membership is mandatory. So I think you might be observed in these days. Recently, every day the discussion is upon that only because you can say special 3 days specifically mentioned for women reservation bill. That is word of government of India. So of course that is you observed every type of thing. What a wonderful parliamentary procedure you observed. Of course, that's a great thing. Option D is right answer for this. 19th question better. Consider the following about delimitation. It's purely regarding that I mentioned there in the electoral constituencies. That's so option 1. First statement is it carried out after every census. That's correct answer. Of course, 2027 होने के बाद, that's exactly we are going to have delimitation program. Later, it is done by election commission. That's not the correct answer. It affects representation in the parliament. Yes, because of delimitation commission will do this one. So it affects because number of seats in every state may increase based on the population if it is the case. So option is, what is that here? One correct beta, and the third statement also correct. So option A is right answer. Which of the following best explains federal structure? Yes, concentration of power at center, division of powers between states and center and state. This is what you can say. The name itself is telling it's a federal structure. We have that is option B, right answer beta. Which of the following is not a kharif crop? Not. Option A, rice, B, cotton, C, wheat, and D, maize. Beta, wheat is a rabi crop, but not of kharif crop. So option is wheat. Now, El Nino generally leads to, joke, it is excess rainfall in India, no question of it, and drought-like conditions, exactly right, because purely monsoon, of course, we are going to have very less monsoon this time, the rainfall is going to be very less, so option B better. Which ocean is associated with El Nino? I mentioned in that previously, Pacific. Then go to question number 24, Baba. Which of the following is a choke point for oil trade? No doubt every day we are discussing of this one, but unfortunately all are here. Malacca Strait, Gibraltar Strait, Hormuz Strait, all of the above are what you can say choke points for oil trade beta. Which country shares the Strait of Hormuz with Iran? This also you might be knowing that already along with Iran, Oman is right answer beta. Consider the following. In this case, India depends heavily on imported crude oil. Of course, West Asia is a major supplier. No doubt the question number 26, both are correct in this case. C, right answer beta. Now 27th. Yes, which of the following is not part of maritime insurance? Yes. Now, hull insurance, cargo insurance, war risk insurance, crop insurance. These are what you can say. I'm talking about maritime, but these crops are what you can say agricultural. So this is not of belongs to that one beta. So government of India has taken a very big step. Maritime security, in fact, what you can say insurance, I covered in my previous video. Which of the following statements is correct? 28th is election commission is statutory body? No. Election commission is a constitutional body. B, right answer beta. Which of the following is not a function of parliament? Lawmaking is a function pakka. Executive control, judicial review is not that one. C is a right answer beta. Which of the following best describes National Commission for Women? Judicial body, constitutional body, statutory body, advisory committee. Beta option is C, it's a statutory body. Question number 30. Which of the following related to energy security? Because these questions are based on today's news, and they will ask in this style that I've prepared in that manner. Just follow my channel and extend it to different papers, people of course, and just go through these things. Which of the following is related to energy security? Oil imports, renewable energy, strategic reserves. Everything is correct in this case is what option D beta. Then go to question number 32. Which of the following is true about special majority? Yes. This is what you say. Option A, used for bills, used for constitutional amendments. I mentioned same number of times. This is option B beta. Which of the following is not related to parliament session? Not related to parliament session, please. Question hour, 0 hour, budget speech and judicial review. You will definitely guess this answer. Judicial review comes under purview of Supreme Court, and of course you say High Courts also. That's a judicial review beta. Which of the following is related to maritime trade security? Insurance pool, naval protection, sea lanes, all of the above. Yes, today, even if you observe the newspaper in a practical manner, at the same time the news of Government of India, that AR news, or you can say that DD news, or any of course PIB, anything, if you follow government news agencies, you will get this in an important point in this case is question number 20 beta. Yes, all of the above. Insurance pool, naval protection and sea lanes. 35 is a very good and final question for today, but I will meet again with another video. And most welcome to my Mantra IAS Academy. Those who are willing to join, of course, our programs. CLAT, this was UPSC, PCM and CLAT, online and offline programs are there. Which of the following best describes India's foreign policy approach in oil imports? Yes. Isolationist, ideologist, strategic autonomy. That's, we have purely, this is a following. That's a fantastic thing. Have a great time. This is my news analysis followed by MCQs. Wish you all the best, beta. God bless you. Just, of course, we'll meet with another video tomorrow. Bye-bye.